So today is Friday, October 20th, and this is our weekly Friday update. So we're going to keep this brief today, and we'll share a few things with you, some tidbits from this week, a little bit of a recap, and then call it a night. So we'll always start with good news, right? We have really, really good news today. Thank you first again for everyone that came out to court with us on Wednesday. It was the oral arguments to certify the copay case as a class action. And if you remember, the Judge Frank had said that he wanted to take some time to make his decision, and we were hopeful that he would make it before week's end, and he did. And today the moderators posted that the judge certified our copay case as a class action case. What that means is that each and every one of you, whatever the court decides, it would benefit each and every one of you, rather than each and every one of you having to prove your case. Whatever decision he comes up with, it affects all of us. We have specific plaintiffs that were the representative plaintiffs for the class action. And if you recall, if you weren't in the courtroom, one of the things that Emblem wanted to do was mitigate each and every claim on their own. And they felt that because they were an insurance company that mitigates claims, individual claims, they wanted to individually mitigate each and every one of these claims, which as Steve had said, well, that's like putting the fox in the hen house to watch the hens. So we had a good chuckle with that. But yes, Judge Frank did certify this as a class action. So whatever his decision is affects each and every one of us. The process and how that would all be resolved will come at the end after the case is argued, but keep your fingers crossed and stay tuned because more is coming. So I guess now we could actually say this is, I think we're actually at 6 at this point, right?
6 wins.
1,
Yeah.
2,
It's 7.
3,
Isn't it
4,
7 now?
5,
Mm.
6. No, I think we're at 7 now.
Yeah,
I
7.
thought it was a little tripping up on my numbers. I know Steve had said like 5 the other day. So okay, so I think we are at 7. So add that to the pack. And like we always say, we still can't guarantee you we're gonna keep winning and be on this winning streak, but we're gonna enjoy it while we are. So that's the good news. That's the good news there. The team had some interesting events this week as we touched base with you, Michelle and I, on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
And
the day we mentioned together.
I know. We did go to the strike from local 390G, from the bakery, BCTG, bake confectioners, right? Tobacco millers, grain, blah, 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 from at IFF on West 57th Street. We got to thank you for them. So what we're going to start doing is helping them out a little bit. We're going to do some group posts and let them know that we stand with them in their solidarity fight. Then yesterday, before I left, we spoke to the ALE, which is the Association of Legislative Employees. Those are the city council legislative staffs that have just unionized and are trying to get their very first contract. And the city of New York, Speaker Adams, is refusing to negotiate in good faith with them. So there's that. And then still speaking with council members, trying to get more council people to move our bill. So that's basically the scoop. Am I missing something?
No,
I think so.
All
right, cool. I'm not seeing any questions though, so that's a good day.
Hi from Rockaway Beach. And yes, we love Judge Frank. He's the best. And we love all you guys out there. And thank you for your support, as always.
Does anyone have any questions? Well, we appreciate you too, Barbara.
So Paula says, would paying out co-pays hurt Emblem Senior Care and not have them as secondary and hurt our Medicare win?
No, because that was at a period of time, remember, they were not contractual. They could always change that, but for that period of time, they can't do that. If they were going to do something, they would have to change the contract. That is a contract case. So
Margaret Plack said, feeling dumb, is Judge Frank up for some sort of election?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Why would you think that? Dressed in red t-shirts. Who's in red t-shirts? Did I miss something?
Well,
Who were screaming in favor of MA?
oh, is that,
Oh,
is that Middleton's people?
yeah, so they weren't screaming in support of MA. They were, I guess, screaming against me, calling them out, calling Gloria Middleton out, the president of CWA 1180, for supporting MA. Those red shirted people, jackets and t-shirts was Communication Workers of Communication Workers of America 1180. Gloria Middleton is the president of that union. That's who I was yelling at. And then all of her peoples were trying to block me. Speaker Adams does not need a costume for Halloween. She can go as herself as the witch of the council. That's a good one, Jeanette. Oh my God. Adams is a piece of work. They need to make campaign contributions to get Adrienne Adams to see their way. Oh my goodness, that's so funny.
I wasn't sure which Adams that was referring to.
Well, there's jokes that they call them the Adams family, even though they're not really related, but
Where's cousin it?
Renee, I don't know what you mean, but do these retirees support MA? Those were all active workers in the red jackets. And Michael, if we win the case, co-pays would be refunded. We only won certification of class action status. That's it.
But that's not a small thing, because that means that when we win and the co-pays need to be refunded, it will be hugely easier for all of us to get our funds back. So it is a big win.
Yes, Karen, we've not gotten involved in politics. We've enabled our members to have access to their council persons, but we've been staying political neutral. As we always have said, healthcare is a human right, not a political fight. We engage the membership to have access to their council member and engage in those conversations, but we don't tell you who to vote for. I don't think we should be telling people who to vote for. Can the city appeal Judge Frank's ruling? Yes. You were great with Gloria. Thank you, Stephen. That was the one day I wish I had more peeps behind me, because I had this sea of red in front of me of women, of fellow women, by the way, were all blocking me. And then, of course, they drowned me out. But I says, well, you're only drowning yourselves if you don't listen. I can only talk so loud, but if you don't want to listen to the message, eventually you're going to find out you're screwing yourselves. One of them,
got the megaphone.
I didn't have a megaphone. So she
Yeah, but
said,
I got the megaphone.
well, I wasn't going uptown. I was downtown. So she said to me, well, we already got more money in our welfare fund. And I said, and if you had to waive your city health benefits to stay in traditional Medicare, you would have lost your welfare fund benefits. She had no clue what I was talking about. They looked at me like a deer in headlights. Like, you're the crazy one, lady, get out of my way. And I was like, okay. You know, all I could do is say, hopefully one of you has had, like, you know, look up what I'm saying, because cray cray. Have we got a date for the state of appeal? No, we do not, Dan. There is no date yet. And they still haven't perfected their appeal yet. So, I mean, they were kind of waiting on them. Will I be alive when we finally have this settled? Well, I would hope so, Anne. You got to stick around. I say donate funds to our cause to pay the lawyers. Absolutely, Judy. We'll keep doing that. And how about pain and suffering? That might come with it too, based on some certain cases. We'll see what happens. Angela Thompson. Hi, ladies. How are you all watching from Mississippi? Hope you're doing well, Angela. Gerald, if de Blasio was still in politics, he would be perfect as Lynch in the Addams Family.
No, Lurch.
It came up as Lynch.
Lurch.
I know what he's talking about. I've always been going to PT and they haven't billed me copays. Well, they shouldn't be billing you after January 12th of 23. In Arizona, my copays have been refunded by the health facilities. Well, that's good to know, Elizabeth. Who would be paying us back, the city or Emblem? I'm going to assume, cautiously, it would be Emblem. However, it would be the judge that would be deciding that. If the big guy, New York City, allowed to keep appealing us, the little guy, until we bankrupt. Well, Charney, anything can happen, which is why we're choosing not to go bankrupt.
That's why we ask for money.
That's why we go to meetings and we hold fundraisers and do education, and we come on here every Friday to talk to you and ask for continuous fundraising so that we can keep doing all of that all over again on a repetitious cycle. Networking with council members, with state people, with federal people. I mean, we're working this on every which way we possibly can. And actually, in confronting one of the council members yesterday, even though they said that our advocacy drives them crazy, they are actually in awe of what this organization has been able to accomplish. So even though we're annoying them, they know that we're doing the right thing because they don't see that advocacy at any other level from any other organization, including the unions. So to be paid that kind of accomplishment means we've organized this machine quite well. And I think we should be proud of that.
For a group of rump retirees, we're doing great.
George Roman says, how would they know how much to pay us back? They have a spreadsheet. They can run, they know how much they charged and how much was paid and how much wasn't paid. They made it clear. They said it in court.
Mm-hmm. And Michelle, remember there was a court reporter taking down what was said.
That was at the request of Emblem, by the way.
The court reporter?
Yes.
Oh,
okay. Oh, how interesting.
Alan Barry, is Medicare Advantage plans being promoted in other states as well? So Alan, it is Medicare season. It's kind of like flu season. It is Medicare season. And so like literally today, when I got back home from the hospital this afternoon, I had just turned the TV on just low for background noise, and every other commercial was Joe Namath. I literally took my socks off and threw them at the television. I was like, oh my God, if I hear this guy one more time. But yes, you will see them like, I don't know, every 30 seconds that they're that annoying, but this is season and you will hear them through December.
December 7th is the last day. So.
Yep, got a ways to go yet.
Yep.
There's a date I want you all in the city to put on your calendar, and I'm going to pull that up in 1 second. I want you to mark this date on your calendar. October 26th. October 26th.
Thursday, that's Thursday.
October 26th. And it'll either be Brooklyn or I think Queens. So be ready for, what do you call that? Flash mob? Like the day before? Be ready that the day before we will tell you in the afternoon to be at a specific location in one of those boroughs. A lot of you. You'll have a good time, I promise. So Brooklyn or Queens, I can't tell you which. I don't think it's been decided yet, but October 26th. More to come. Put that on your calendar, Michelle, to remind me the day before.
Right.
Let's see. The powers that be will never cease trying to destroy our rights, hopes, and lives of retirees. Infinitely tragic. Donate. Thank you, David.
Oh, I'm done for the night. Good night.
Please make the October 26th meeting in Midtown. I'll try, and that might need to be another day, but right now it's looking like Queens or Brooklyn, but I'll keep that in mind. Joe Namath is an old string bean.
I know.
I know
I saw it earlier this evening. I was like, dude, really?
he's looking really bad, dude.
And I was bragging.
But he lives in Florida, and I forget what neighborhood he lives in. Someone in Florida's got to know him. Can we see Shug and Jules? Well, Jules is under the table. I can't really show her, but let's see.
Oh, here she is.
I hear mine crying.
There's my Shug sleeping.
It's not on the white stuff. She's on the brown, so she shows up more. Contrast.
And then Jules is on the floor.
Mike Rowick thinks he lives in Jupiter.
That sounds right.
Yeah, he's in some senior community, I think. I know. He's 80.
That would sound right, yeah.
Oh, and apparently Bowser does a
Yes,
anti-care.
anti.
Yeah, he did that with Be a Hero and Diane Archer, Just Care. Yeah, and Bowser does help out with those videos. We were actually talking about doing a event in thank you, Lizette. Okay. Thank you. Well, I guess we're gonna all ask you to send a letter to Mr. Joe Namath. I'll post an address and a short message in a little while. And it'll tell you to please stop advertising Medicare Advantage.
I thought about that. I said that to Jason. I said, I'm going to have to write him, being, a diehard Jet fan, since I've been like 8. I'm going to have to be like, dude, really?
So what I'm going to suggest is I'll just post his address and then you guys write him a letter.
And be like, shame.
And feel free to politely, professionally, as with class, as I always say to you, express yourself as to why he should not be doing Medicare Advantage plans.
Even though he's obviously getting paid, sometimes you have to take the high road.
Yes, and then,
Look,
yeah,
Do the right thing.
right.
yes. And I guess Medicare Advantage plans advertising got kind of skewered at the congressional Senate hearing this week. As well. He gets good money for those commercials. He probably needs the money. Probably, I don't know. Maybe for all those knee replacements.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's supposed to have bad knees.
So, yeah.
Arlene Bivelson says, ask if Joe has a map.
Well, I think if he gets like 1,000 letters in the mail, that might persuade him to, who knows?
George
Yeah.
Roman says he's a diehard mutt. He thinks it's 1969.
He used to be very good looking.
I used to see him on campus when they had practice. Good old
I
Hofstra.
was gonna say Hofstra, yeah.
GHI removal from active or retired. So Janice, that's not yet been decided. GHI formed a alliance. I hate that word, but I know you do too. They formed an alliance with United Healthcare to create a national plan so that Emblem would be regional and United would take the national side. And then Aetna was competing for the other contract. So it was between those two vendors. They put out the RFP, you remember, last year, and then they narrowed it down to these two vendors. And so what you're referring to is that there's been issues. He owns a restaurant, Charlie and Joe's. Okay, well, I guess Don, look up Charlie and Joe's and send me the address for that. We'll post that address too. Everyone will send 2 letters. Hey, that's a good idea, Renee. You could ask him for a donation. What the hell was I saying? Don't even remember now. What was I saying?
You were talking about, oh crap. Nope. So tired.
It'll come back to you 2 minutes after we end.
We end.
It is 8:45.
Oh, GHI, you were talking about GHI.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the RFP, they narrowed it down to 2 vendors, the Alliance of Emblem and United, and then the Aetna plan. And so the theory is that the unions were trying to keep Aetna into play because they feared that Aetna would walk away like the Alliance did last year, with this delayed in court. Now, one of the things that you should know is that active workers, like retirees, about 80 something percent. Actually, I think with active workers, it's 70%. I don't think I have that near me, but I'll see if I post the statistic. It's like 70 or 80% are in GHI. And the reason that there's a difference, there's more retirees, I believe, in the senior care, GHI senior care, than there are active workers in GHI, but it's only like a 10% difference. And the reason why is because they were forcing active workers into HIP HMO in their first year. And because active workers, when they first come on the job, they're newly hired, they're in their 20s and their 30s, and they're young and they're healthy, and they don't go to the doctor, and they're not having any issues with the plan. So they just stay in it. And there's no issues because they're really not using their healthcare. It's not really until they start getting older or they get hurt or whatever. So in that situation, they'll stay in the HIP plan. So that's why you'll see about 25 or 30%, I believe the number was in the HIP HMO, and like 70-something% were in the GHI CBP plan. Now, the GHI CBP, as you know it, will be ending. And what they're trying to do is make this one national plan. So they're going to eliminate all your choices. You'll have one plan for retirees, one plan for actives, or two plans for actives, two plans. I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but it's between those two vendors and it has to be chosen. And so what those bloggers were blogging about, from what I read, was that they had some information that there were these two vendors. Now, remember, they've not updated their own union members about this process. So they were unaware of this RFP process. They were unaware about the selection process. They don't even know what the healthcare plan looks like. And then they're also being told that there's tiering of hospitals coming. So if you're an active worker or you're under 65, your healthcare plan, based upon what we're hearing, is that if you go to like an HHC hospital, which this was the plan that Henry Garrido wanted from DC 37, if you go to an HHC hospital, you'd have no copay. If you go to another hospital, like whatever, Montefiore Presbyterian, Mount Sinai, whatever, you'll pay an increasing copay based on whatever they assess on that tier of hospital. And that would probably be for a copay or co-insurance. So that's not yet come out. They've not shared that. The only thing that's being shared is, rumor. And it's coming from people who are actually in on some of those negotiations or hearing something secondhand from somebody else. So I can't really tell you, those details. But yeah, GHI CBP would be ending. GHI did form an alliance, a partnership with United Healthcare to form a large national network. And then you have Aetna. And that's basically this, two plans that are in running for that.
And I told you, when Empire was taken over by Anthem, it's now, they call themselves Anthem now. Because when you call Blue Cross Blue Shield, there's a message. It says they're Anthem now.
Well, they always were Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Then and
it said an Anthem company. It was like in
Right.
tiny little writing, but now it says it's flipping now. It says it's their Anthem now.
How about we do a huge fundraiser outside Staten Island City Council Joe Borelli's office? I'm sure he would love it.
Thanks, Don, for the address. I wrote it down for Charlie Joe's restaurant.
Okay.
And Joe lives in Tequista, Florida.
West.
Yep, I have that. I have that address too. So we can make a compiled address list. Make two letters, mail them off to each. It'll cost you 2 stamps. You could write 1 letter, photocopy it, and mail it to 2 places.
He's not going to be a happy camper.
That's okay. Do you guys remember when we did that bill to Mulgrew? We sent him a bill for the $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how many thousands of those did he get?
Hey, he still owes it.
I wonder if we should do that.
Into collections.
Oh, yeah, right.
When we have our coffee call tomorrow, we should plan that.
No, it's a Glucerna call.
I don't drink Lucerna.
I don't drink coffee.
I drink espresso. Okay.
We all have our vices.
I called Empire Blue Cross today. Oh yeah, I saw that. That's Michelle was just saying that. All right. So that's all I got. You got anything?
No, that's it. So again, for those who just came in, we end on a good note again. We got our class action status for the copay case. Judge ruled today. So that's a good thing. So let's end on a happy note for this weekend. Thank you, everybody out there.
And money, please.
Well, that's your spiel.
Thank you. Well, other people already did this. But to continue, we have our lawyers and our lawyers bill us. And we're all volunteers. But we got to pay them. They're not volunteers.
And again, thank you for the moderators for holding down the fort.
Absolutely. They are fabulous.
Appreciate it.
Fabulous.
Kevin Hooker, I hope my fellow Staten Islanders are not voting for Borelli for district attorney. Is he running? I didn't know Borelli was a district attorney. What do you mean? Just maybe city council? District attorney would be scary. I don't think he's a lawyer. But you could always write in mine or Michelle's name. I mean,
Right?
or write the organization in. That'd be pretty funny. Everyone writing on their ballot our names or the counts or the organization. They'd be like, uh-oh, what the heck is this?
So
So
everybody enjoy your weekend. And try to get some good rest. And again,
Gonna rain in the city tomorrow, so good day to relax.
right. So
thank
on
you,
that-
Lizette. Thank you, guys. Have a really good weekend. And
Again,
Well-
yes, stay strong. We move forward and
We got another win.
the wind, woosah. Let's enjoy it.
have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you Monday.
Good night.
Bye.
Have a good night.